And I'm here to talk about what a great time it is to be in the auto repair business.
Oh my God, is it ever? Is it ever? We've got a really great special for you today to literally show you that you don't have any competition anymore. I mean, what you thought was your competition is no longer your competition. Case in point. So if bear with me, I want to share my screen here and talk about an article that I just read. Let's see. Let me hit
You got too many
share.
screens. There you go.
There it is. Can you see that?
Yep.
All right. So right here, cost to finance a new car hits a record $656 per month. And auto shoppers can pay even more with the latest Fed rate hike. Now, this article was written about a month ago, brought to my attention last week. And I thought that was really, really important. This is before the rate hike. So I don't know exactly where it is right now, but let's look here. New car prices are up 12.6% from just 1 year ago. And used car prices are up 16.1%. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, no more competition, because what does that really look like to the wallets of your clients that are standing there right in front of you with that major repair that they're hemming and hawing over, not quite sure they want to sink money into that car? Well, your competition right now is to have them go out and spend $656 on average for a new car for a whopping 70 and a half months, $656 for 70 and a half months, because, I don't want to put new brakes in there, or I don't want to, spend a couple $1,000s on that car that I have. I'm going to go spend $656 over the next 70 months because I don't want to do that repair. That's for the new car. But for the used car, the average monthly payment is $546 for 70.8 months. This is insane. One final thing before we get into this conversation here. Look at this. The average monthly payment for new cars financed with a dealership. Look at that price hike go all the way up and all the way up. And here we are in May is $656. Look at the used cars. Okay. Used cars just in January, right here, right there, $428 was the average monthly cost to buy a used car. Look at this, ride up, straight up like a hockey stick to $546. So, Jerry, what in the heck does this mean? Let me get off the screen share.
While it's fresh in my mind, when you talk about used cars, and we've all known that. And one of the things I tell the customer, at least if you invest in your car, you know what you have. Right? How many lemons are out there? I would always tell people at BNI meetings, when I would go to a BNI meeting, a business networking meeting, pay attention to all the cars on the side of the road. Most of them that are broken down have temporary tags on it.
They do. You're right.
They're buying somebody else's headache. At least you know what you got in your car. I've changed the oil. I've kept up on the maintenance. It's a decent car. It's just this darn transmission that went out or whatever it is. But when you fix that, you know what you got. Buy somebody else's headache for $546. Potentially you could have more issues with it.
And you're locked in for 70 months.
Yep.
That's the thing. If you buy that thing, and let's say you don't realize it's a lemon for 6 months or whatever, you're spending so much more money in that car. And I get it. There's the allure of the new car. But when that customer's standing right there in front of you and they're making that decision, for a lot of people, it's a very difficult decision. Money's a little bit tighter right now. And we talked in the past about, financing options that you can give them. But certainly if it's $656 a month and your repair is $1,500, that's only 3 months. And they're not locked in for 70 months to pay for that decision. They're locked in basically for 3 months at $656 a month, whatever that is. So, I think this is a huge opportunity. I said, you don't have competition anymore from the dealerships. The competition you have is right up here. Charging what you're worth, charging and understanding the ball is now in your court and you deserve to get paid because the alternatives are pretty damn expensive.
Yeah, a couple things, in some of the services that we offer, And, it's things that you should do for your customers. It's just good business. So before a customer is going to make a major repair, I want to make sure the car's worth investing in. So we perform a thorough inspection. Just recently, I had somebody have a car towed in. We're going to put a transmission in it. It's a good car, got like 90,000 miles on it, got a lot of life left in it, or at least should have. Nobody has a crystal ball, but I'm able to give the customer a complete health report. And usually when you give them that price, in this case, it was a little over $5,000. We're going to put a new transmission in the car, not a remanufactured or a used. That's the only way I like to do it sometimes in this instant. And, the customer said, this was on Friday, let me think about it. Give me the weekend to think about it. He was on the answering machine Monday morning, said, go ahead and do it. Put the new transmission in the car. Why? Because he probably went car shopping over the weekend and he had, heart attack. It's the big one, Elizabeth. I'm coming to join you, honey. There's just not any of those, great deals out there anymore. You said 70 months. When you were showing me, Ron, that interest rate, and I know maybe I'm old school, but I remember my mom saying something like, you buy a car and it's like, oh my God, my house payment, was only $300. I mean, that's generation, right? Now you're looking at, paying, $700 for a car payment and dragging it out 70 months.
And that's not for a high-end vehicle. That's the average vehicle that's out there. And one interesting thing on that same article that I was looking at, they're talking about how long the average new car stands on the lot. 18 days. That's it. 18. Most of them are pre-sold before they even got there. But the ones that aren't pre-sold, 18 days. Now, if they're going off the car lot that quick, how desirable are they going to be? What kind of feature are they going to have? Are they going to have the stuff that you have right now that you may want? Chances are, it's slim pickings on there. But, as far as I'm concerned, I said the biggest competition's up here or whoever is doing the selling. You should not be experiencing very many no's. Okay. When somebody says no, that's actually a good thing. Okay. Because that means you're presenting everything. And I mean, I want everything or need everything. But if you're getting yes after yes after yes after yes after yes, you got to check your pricing because you might be too cheap as well. So you have to learn how to sell at very, very profitable levels. And now is the time to do it. As we've been talking about week after week after week on these hump day chats lately, this is the time for you guys to get your profitability back in order and get paid what you deserve to be getting paid.
One of the questions I ask usually early on in the conversation with the customer, what are your plans for the vehicle? And they say, well, what do you mean? I said, well, what are your plans for the car? Do you plan on keeping it? And virtually everybody tells me, of course, I plan on driving this thing till the wheels fall off because they have no choice. And then I let them know, great, because I want to make sure that I'm, again, gonna give you a product that you're satisfied with. And what I'm trying to get to is, in years past, when people say they're going to keep their car 6 months, nobody's going to do that. So I don't put the lowest quality brakes on, the lowest quality ball joints, because you're going to end up warrantying it. They'll be back because they're going to have that car 2, 3, 4 years down the road. There's no end in sight to what's going on right now, at least in the immediate future.
Yeah, and here's what I would suggest is I'm going to drop a link below after we're done with this. I'm going to drop a link where everybody can get access to that CNBC article, read it, print it out, have it there for your clients. So it's just not you slinging a bunch of BS trying to make a sale. They understand it. And I just kind of thought about this, Jerry, when you're talking about what are your plans for a car, for this car, they're going to say, I'm going to keep this thing. And, that's when you say, yeah, I don't blame you because look at this article I just read. Look at the pricing. So what you're really doing is you're setting them up to understand the difference between maintaining or buying new, and a lot of cases, there is no competition anymore unless they just really hate that car or they're ready to undergo that 70-month commitment to keep the price at $656. If they go more normal, I didn't even know they went 70 months anymore. I mean, last I checked, it was a 60-month loan. And, it was my rule of thumb. I'd never go more than 36 or maybe 48, depending on, what it was. And imagine what that price would be when you cut that thing down into more of a reasonable time period. So, let them understand what they're really, the decision that they have. It's fix, maintain, or buy new, and you're getting married to that car. Whether it's a good car or not, you're going to be married to that, because chances are it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have another one of those things talking about how overinflated the cars are right now as far as the price. The cars, they're not being sold for any sort of discount at all. They're being jacked up, and the value, we all knew when you drove a new car off the lot, the value plummeted. Well, it just literally falls off a cliff right now, because what comes up is going to come back down. And when those car prices finally start to come back down, they're going to be so upside down in that they're going to wish that they would have spent $5,000 for that new transmission instead of $44,000 and $656 a month for 70 months for that new car.
Yep, no, absolutely. So the lesson learned, it's a wonderful time to be in the auto repair business. Make sure you present everything to the customers, charge what you're worth, and let the customer know. I like to say, tell the whole story. Mm-hmm. And more often than not, when I tell the whole story, this is what the vehicle needs to make it safe and reliable so you can get years of services out of it. The next words out of their mouth is go ahead and do it.
Awesome. We're going to leave it with that. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like what you're seeing, please go down, hit the like button, make some comments on there, send us a little bit of love, and we'll keep doing this as often as we can. Take care, everybody. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.